Hey, Ron Gillock here, home business entrepreneur. And have you ever wondered what those guys on Shark Tank are really learning in their businesses? What kind of things have gone wrong for them and what have they learned from those experiences? Well, this past week I got a chance to spend some time with two of the sharks from the television show Shark Tank. Stay tuned, I'm going to show you 2 or 3 tips that I learned from these guys. Hey, so this week I was actually at an event called Traffic and Conversion Summit. It's for internet marketers and people who grow their businesses online. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Best event I've ever been to by far, marketing wise. So at this event we got to spend some time with Kevin Harrington and Damon John, the FUBU guy. So Kevin Harrington is known for making an insane amount of money in the as seen on TV niche, the infomercials, things that you sell online, like the Billy Mays guys, stuff like that. So one thing that I picked up from him is he told this story that he had done a deal. It was a Shark Tank deal, and that I think he put about 500,000 into the deal, right? And the woman that was involved in this deal did not do what she said she was going to do. She actually used the 500,000 to pay off all of her debt, all of her businesses or whatever, and then actually shut the business down. And how Kevin Harrington found out is he got a statement with $38,000 in bills from the existing business. So not only was it like, oh hey, by the way, you lost $500,000 on this deal, but here's an additional $38,000 of incurred expenses from the previous owner because you guys were partners. So I was like, what? Wow! Like we all make mistakes like that. Maybe not to that high level yet, but what I learned from Kevin is that you need to have restraints in place whenever you're doing a joint venture, whenever you're partnering up with anybody. And this can even be brought into our home-based businesses, our network marketing businesses. So what Kevin said he should have done with it was in his contract had restraints where they had to get approval from him or the third-party escrow company to say, okay, yeah, you can spend this money there, and no, you can't spend that money there, right? So he did not put in place financial controls over it. He just gave the money to them and hoped they were going to do what they were going to say. How many times have you brought somebody into your home-based business and they promise you the world and they say they're going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to recruit this person, I'm going to get that car in like a week, all that stuff, and they do nothing, right? All the time. So bringing this back down to our level is that when you're bringing somebody in, you also want to have controls over your time, right? The reason you're doing this business is so you can have time freedom in addition to financial freedom. So if you don't institute those controls in place, for example, saying, hey, you can call me during these hours, 9 to 7 or whatever you choose to work. Any other time you're going to have to email me to get a hold of me or contact me, and I'll respond when I get that. Like that's one simple tool that I've implemented, so my team is not calling me in the evening when I'm trying to spend time with my family or whatever. I also let people know that I will not do a three-way call or not talk to any of their prospects unless they have seen a presentation. Otherwise, it doesn't serve anybody, not you, not your rep, not the person looking at the business, those kind of things. So putting these things in place is actually a position of power, and you have to do it. You have to say no sometimes. So doing these kind of things that like Kevin talked about, having restraints and controls in place, is really going to empower you to prosper and put your business into a more powerful place where you can have more control and know what's going on. The other thing that I learned would be from Damon John. Damon was the owner of FUBU. It had very, very successful clothing line, and he capitalized on that on trends, one being hip hop at the time. And what he did is he told us his whole story of how he started off with 10 t-shirts, and they were making t-shirts in his mom's house. They sold all their furniture. They had sewing machines in the house, and they were there sleeping on sleeping bags on the floor, and when they were up, they were sewing and making t-shirts. And I was just like, holy cow. So a few things I learned from Damon. One, there is no easy button. You know, anybody who has had tremendous success has never been an overnight sensation. Like, people have said that to me, and it's like, Ron, it just seemed like you came up out of nowhere. And I'm just like, no, I've been here for years. I've been on my grind for a long time. And like, by no means am I even close to the caliber of those guys in my, as far as my business level is, but that's where I'm going. And the reality is that everybody has to kind of go through those periods, those learning curves to get there. The other thing that Damon really spoke about is owning your media, right? He was able to own his clothing line and put it on certain artists, certain distributors, if you will, to really promote it out there. And in the same, we can do the same thing as marketers as well. For example, a lot of guys on YouTube, you know, you have put your content out there, your videos, and then the channel gets shut down, and then boom, the traffic, the views, the leads that you were getting from that source, gone. You don't own YouTube, neither do I. So that's one thing that clicked with me, and I was like, oh shoot, what happens if my channel gets shut down? I lose, you know, a significant amount of my audience, right? So there's other services that you can do, that you can host, like Amazon S3, Wistia, places like that, where you can host your own videos, where I'm going to be making that transition myself here shortly. And then so Damon spoke on one other thing, owning your media. Oh, and I'm sorry, and there is no easy button. So these are three things that I learned from Damon John and Kevin Harrington, guys from the Shark Tank. They're basically venture capitalists now, and it's been such a blessing. I was so thankful just to be able to sit in the room with these guys and listen to what they had to say, as it impacted me. The other thing I picked up just by being around these guys is that there's no difference between them and me, and there's no difference between you and me as well. The only difference is they got there a little bit first, they got there first. They're a little further along on the journey. They put their pants on one leg at a time, same as everybody else. So the only difference is that your actions, the amount of actions that you're taking, and also how you're thinking. So by surrounding myself with these people these high caliber, high level people, it's really expanded my mind and the way I think, and the amount of things that I can do and I can achieve, and how I can help people and influence other people. So it's been a great week of being around these guys that are from the Shark Tank, you know, people that are doing 8-9 figures online and internet marketing and network marketing, all this stuff, and you know, truly being in a place that you can have your own mastermind. There's a saying that, you know, if you're the most successful person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right? You're actually an average of the 5 people that you associate with the most. So a long time ago, when I heard this statement, I thought, okay, if I'm an average of the 5 people I'm with the most, then I want to be the least successful, poorest person in the room at all times. Probably should have used better words for that, but I want to be the lowest person in the room at all times, because then if I'm an average of the people that are around me and listening to how they think and how they carry themselves, what things that they're doing, the only place for me to move is up, right? So this has been 3 tips from the Sharks at Shark Tanks, and 1 tip from me, Ron Gielach, home business entrepreneur. If you'd like to get more of this stuff, I cut videos, I put training out almost on a daily basis. You can subscribe by simply going to rongielach.com and entering your name and email, and I have a free gift for you as well. Make it an awesome day.